Okay, so week 3 is here. We ended week 2 pretty darn well, going undefeated to win a box and a half of Maze of the Master, which is obviously pretty awesome when you're trying to improve. But I want to see if we can keep that hot streak going. So this week we're trying out a bunch of different stuff. I had mentioned before that I wanted to try like board breakers and stuff like that, kind of like I did with the Snake Eye deck in the past. And I have heavily inspired by Syrax and Pack, a board breaker Blue Eyes deck. So I'll show you guys the deck that I'm playing. It's basically that list from their profile, so don't think like I'm trying to take credit for anything like that, but we'll just go over it really quick and I'll show you what I'm playing for locals this week. So I don't remember if this is card for card or just almost very close to, but this is basically just the list that Syrax, Sam, and Pack built for the YCS. I'm just going to go through it really quick so you guys can see what we're playing tonight. We're not reinventing the wheel or anything like that, and I didn't build this exact build on my own, so I'm not going to take credit for anything like that. We'll just kind of fire through it really quick. So first you have 3 Sage, 3 Maiden, 2 Blue Eyes, that's all very standard, 3 White Wishes for Eyes of Blue, 1 Roar, 1 Mausoleum, 1 True Light, and 1 Majesty. That's all really normal. Then there's 1 Neo Kaiser and 1 Jet. Jet is particularly good into Ryzel matchups. It also just can force really awkward game states where it's like returning cards that can be problematic. And Neo Kaiser just gives you an additional starter card. And when you're playing over 40, having that additional starter is really good. Then there's 3 Ether Barrel, 3 Lordly Load, 1 Drill Beam, and 1 Prosperity. Nothing crazy there. Moving on. For the non-engine, there's very few hand traps, and they all tend to have the choke point of shutting down searches. So there's 3 Droll, 3 Dominus Purge, 1 Effect Veiler, 3 Empire. And that's it for the hand traps, and then there's a bunch of board breakers. So you have 3 Ultimate Slayers, 3 Metalotronus, and the 2 Triple Tactics Talent. Talent is obviously good when you go second as a board breaker, but it's also good going first as a hand rip. I'm going to continue to say that as long as this card is legal, it should be in your deck. But that is the main deck. For the extra deck, you've got 2 Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 1 Ultimate Spirit Dragon, 2 regular Spirit Dragon, 1 Lightstorm Dragon, 1 Detonator, Aggregator, and Typhon, and then 3 Spirit with Eyes of Blue, 1 Lina, and 1 Seal. That's, again, like super straightforward. And then for the side deck, 3 Lancia, 2 Chaos Hunters, this is because Malice is that much of a bad matchup, 2 Lightning Storms and Duster, then 2 Thrust, which is something I was like, on the fence about. Then we have 1 D-Barrier, 1 Sanctum, and 3 Judgment. So that is the deck list. Just finished round 1, and I am 1-0. Didn't capture the game, unfortunately. I just totally forgot, so hopefully I'll get some footage of a later match. But I just faced against Pure Ryzeal with 7th Tachyon in it. We ended up winning that match, but it was a pretty close one, actually. Game 1, he activated, I want to say a 7th Tachyon, and I actually just used Droll, which was really solid. He used Talents to look at my hand and ripped away Wishes, so I ended up having to put together a really scuffed OTK line with Sage, which he ended up then negating. It was a very weird game, but I ended up pulling out game in a very weird fashion. I don't quite remember totally how to do it, but we did. Tyrant Dragon was a heck of a card. And then game 2, he ended up going first. I used Droll again, this time on his Bonfire. He Talents, ripped another card from my hand, and was able to set up Detonator, and I just couldn't push through it, unfortunately. Game 3, however, I opened up and I went first. I normal summoned Sage, activated its effect, and he activated Effect Veiler. I linked into Spirit, grabbed Mausoleum, then I activated the Maiden that was in my hand. So I actually used Wishes, added the Roar and a copy of Maiden to my hand. Then I went True Light, I went Roar, bring back the Blue Eyes, bring back Maiden. I brought out Blue Eyes with Roar, linked into Spheres, brought back Maiden. Then I brought back the Blue Eyes with the True Light, Special summon back the Maiden, went into Spirit, and then ended up setting Judgment, Metaltronus, Infinite Impermanence, and Judgment, Impermanence, Metaltronus, and I don't remember what the fourth card was, but it's pretty solid overall. I ended up using Judgment and ended up then used Judgment, Imperm. He couldn't really do too much. He tried using like 7 Tachyon and stuff. Couldn't really get a field good enough to push through that. Then on my turn, I ended up summoning back, or I ended up using the Jet Dragon that I had summoned off of Seal, and the Blue Eyes that I had summoned back off of True Light, so I could make my... Oh, it was Drill Beam was the last card. I used Drill Beam on his talents to take, and so I ended up using the 2 dragons on the field to make a Tyrant with Roar in the graveyard, so I banished it for its effect, attacked, reset Judgment, brought back Blue Eyes, brought back Maiden, attacked for another 3,000, then made Spirit Dragon. So he had like basically nothing and had to play through Imperm, or he had to play through Judgment, and then the Spirit Dragon and stuff, and just couldn't do it. So sorry for the rough recap. I'm having a hard time remembering games lately. A lot of brain fog. But we are 1-0. Hopefully we can win the next 2 and guarantee surprising. Maybe we'll go undefeated together. It'd be pretty awesome. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so we recapped round 1. Round 2, I played against Tenpai. I ended up winning that one pretty quickly. Game 1, I opened up with like my full combo. He couldn't really do anything to break through the grind game of spheres plus like the spirits and trap cards. So that was a pretty quick one. Game 2, he actually ended up getting to a point where no matter what I did, I didn't have enough interactions to stop the OTK coming. I could have popped the Sangan summoning and it wouldn't have mattered because he could have then just made Hida and done the same thing. So that was a quick one. And then game 3, I ended up opening just like the stones with like Majesty, Drill Beam, Imper, like just everything. So he just couldn't do anything. Then round 3, I played against Ryziel. Game 1, I opened up Droll, and that was a quick one. And then game 2, I opened up Droll, so very quick. And then round 4, I played against Blue Eyes, actually, the mirror match, with one of my close friends, Brian. He and I, we chat all the time and stuff, so it's really more of just like a theory match. I ended up winning the die roll, which is, unfortunately, in the Blue Eyes matchup, is very important. Even though it's less important for me because I'm playing board breakers, I ended up being able to benefit from that. In game 1, I opened up with the Primite cards, so that was really rough because I couldn't get anything going. Because I had Droll. On top of that, Droll has been overperforming really hard today. And then game 2, I opened up with Droll again. He unfortunately didn't really have anything, and I just kind of quickly pushed through without the Primite cards, although he did have Drill Beam, so that's pretty good. So we ended up 4-0, and I ended up getting 6 Rarity Collection 2. Hopefully we pull some pretty awesome collector's rares. Ideally Spirit Dragon would be great. We'll have to see. So Back to Basics is off to a solid start for the 3rd week in a row.